Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. Today is my last creation of 2021. Where has the year gone? I can't believe how quickly it's passed. And my YouTube channel has been a huge success, and it's thank you to you, every single one of you, for supporting me. Whether that's sending me messages, commenting, liking my videos, watching my videos, giving me feedback. I really appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you so much. So my last creation of 2021, I'm going out on a high. I am collaborating with my mentor, my good friend and very talented artist, Rinske Douna. Rinske has been a rock to me this year, and she has not provided me just with professional advice, but she's also become a very dear friend, and I'm very grateful for this last collaboration of 2021. I've worked with some amazing artists throughout the year, and I'm very grateful. But what we've decided to do is we've talked a lot about next year, the aspirations that we've got, the goals that we've got, and we've both created a design for each other. So the design that you see today is a piece that I've created especially for Rinske, and I'll be sending that to her early next year, and I hope she likes it. She's not seen it. I've not seen the creation Rinska's done for me. This is going to be a big surprise for both of us. So I just hope that she really likes what I've created. Now, I have used 3 different techniques within one piece. So it's been a big challenge for me. I had to push the boat out. It's my last creation of this year. It was really fun to do. I'm really nervous to release it because it's quite a busy piece, but each section represents something that Rinska's looking forward to in the future. And I will talk through all of that in my video and explain my thinking behind it and the colour palettes that I've used. So I'm really excited for this. I hope you love it too. It just leaves me now to say Happy New Year to every one of you. Thank you so much for your support. I hope 2022 is a better year for everybody, not only personally but creatively. So thank you again so much for all your support. So let's see what we can create. Okay, so I'm using a heart-shaped canvas, and I've sectioned it off because there's all different things I want this piece to represent. There's going to be a section here, and I'm going to do some freehand. There's going to be a section here, and I'm going to do a Dutch paw. And this section here in the middle is going to be a ring paw. And I'm bringing these 3 creations and techniques together for one piece. Okay, so I'm using in this section a 24 karat gold, and I've chosen gold because this represents Rinska's heart, her morals, values and generosity. Gold is all about wealth, not just financial, but the wealth of support, inspiration and knowledge. Rinske is very creative, and I wanted this base coat to represent that. And Rinske is very generous with the support and the encouragement she provides, not only myself, but other artists as well. And then I'm going to use this section and put some different coloured dots and use my squeegee to create a design, and that's going to represent all the different emotions. Here's my colour palette for the Dutch paw section of the creation. All blues and greens because that's going to represent the earth. I'll explain a little bit more about that as I'm doing the creation. Okay, so I couldn't not do a Dutch paw in this creation, bearing in mind Rinske is the founder and the queen of Dutch paws. So I'm going to layer out a light blue base, and this part of the creation is going to represent nature and travel. I know some of Rinske's goals for next year is to look more at nature, take long walks, travel, and show Tigo and her family the world. So I hope that I'm going to represent this part of the heart purely for those goals and aspirations for 2022. I love the blue and green tones. Green is one of Rinske's favourite colours as well, so I couldn't not put this in the creation. So I'm going to create this piece to represent the earth. and it's going to represent travel. So when we fly in an aircraft, and if we're lucky to have a window seat and we look out of the window, we can look at Mother Nature and look at the earth from above, and we normally see the greens and the blue tones as you're travelling. So that's what this part of the design will represent. Okay, so I'm going to take those blue and green tones and I'm literally just going to layer them in a line. And you'll notice that it's quite a small canvas. It's only taking up part of the section as well. So as I'm blowing out, I just need to be very careful on how I'm blowing the piece out. And I also want to make sure that it's not too busy in that corner. So I do want to step back and have a look at the composition and the perspective. But I also want to bear in mind that I'm trying to create the earth from above. It's going to represent nature and travel. So I don't want it to be too busy on that corner. I just want to try and get a good balance. So I'm just layering those tones now, and I'm hoping that when I blow that out, I'm going to be creating the concept of looking at Earth from above. Okay, so let me just show you a quick close-up version of this section. And I like to think that it represents the Earth from above. What do you guys think? I'd love to know. So please let me know in the comments below. So far, so good. Okay, so I've done this section and I'm going to let that dry. And I've also done the gold section, and that base coat is now dry, ready for me to use my squeegee. But I'm going to concentrate on the middle section and do a ring pour. And I'm going to use these greens as my colour palette. And I'm going to layer the cup with all of these green tones, and I'm going to do a ring pour in the centre piece. So let's get going, and I'll talk you through why I've chosen this idea. Okay, so I've got 5 different tones of green, and I know Rinske loves green, so I wanted to pick 5 tones of green that complement each other. And I'm going to layer these in my cup, ready to do my ring pour. Now the mixture that I have is fairly thick because I have a very limited space on my canvas, and you'll see that I'm trying to create 3 different sections on the canvas as well. So I've got it thick because that will mean that for me, I can control that more. When I'm tilting and I'm tipping the creation, I can basically control that mixture more when it's on the canvas. So that's the reason for my consistency. And green obviously represents nature as well. So that's one of the other reasons that I'm using this colour palette. So I've just layered my cup, you'll see there, delicious. And I'm going to do the ring pour in this middle section. So fingers crossed, hope it works out, let's go. Okay, so a ring pour, that is probably one of the first techniques I learned when I was doing fluid art. So I definitely wanted to include this. And for a ring pour, this represents to me basically the rings from a tree. and each ring will represent longevity. Each line that you see is a pathway through the future, and the route that you take along each pathway is going to be very different. Some of them are going to be straight lines, some of them are going to be zigzags, some of them are going to be curved, and a ring will represent continuity as well. So there's quite a few meanings behind why I wanted to do a ring pour, and I hope Rinske likes the reason why I chose that technique for the middle section. I know that Rinske wants to do more in nature and go on long walks. She wants to go out with her family, show the world to Tigo. So I hope that this section really does represent some of those future goals. Now, as I said previously, I've made this mixture quite thick because I've got a very limited space to tilt and make sure that I've got the creation exactly how I want it. So by having the mixture a bit thicker means that I can really control. Now, I haven't used an extender because basically I want to make sure that I can control that piece. So I am going to add a little bit of paint just around the edges just to help the design, but I'm not using a huge amount of extender because, again, you know, if you look at the shape that I've created in the middle, maybe I should have thought this out a little bit more, but the shape in the middle isn't an easy shape to control. So as I tilt and I create that middle section, I want to make sure that I maintain those rings and kind of keep the perspective and the composition of that ring pour how I want it. So I'm just going to spread out some of this green and then I'll continue tilting. Okay, so I did speed up the video and I've cut a bit out because the mixture is very thick. This is taking me a while to tilt and extend this creation across the white space. As you can see, it's very thick, it's flowing very slowly, but that's exactly what I wanted because I wanted to be able to manage that and control the speed at which it was being tilted. I'll take you in for a closer look shortly, but I'm really happy that I've been able to maintain these lines. I'm just tidying up some of the edges, but let me take you in for a closer look, and I hope you love what you see. Okay, so here we go. It's all coming together. It's exactly what I had in mind, so I'm really, really proud of this. And as you can see, as I said, some of the lines will be straight and squiggly. Some will have a wider edge, some will have a thinner edge. I'm really, really pleased because I've been able to maintain that ring structure as I've stretched it out across the canvas. And again, as I said, this represents longevity and all the different pathways that Rinske will take throughout her life, personally and creatively. Okay, here's the next colour palette that I'm using. All different acrylic colours from Arteza. And each colour I will use in the gold section. You saw that I painted the base colour earlier. And then I'm going to use my squeegee to basically dry pull all those dots that I create on the base. And each colour will represent a different emotion. So let me show you that now. Okay, so I have sped this part of the video up, and all I'm doing is I'm using those colours that I've selected, and I've selected different colours to represent different emotions. And I'm going to just place dots of acrylic paint across that gold base, and then I'm going to use my squeegee, and I'm going to dry pull those colours over each other. Now, all these different colours have been selected because they represent different emotions, and I'll be talking more about emotions and colour therapy throughout the year in some of the creations that I do, so watch out for that. So, I'm going to take my squeegee and I'm literally going to dry pull across the edge. There we go. Wow, first time and it's worked. So I'm really, really, really happy. So here we go. All three different techniques, all in one. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out and how it's all come together. So each section, as I've explained, represents all the different goals and aspirations for the coming year. And here is the finished article. It's all dried I'm really, really proud of this, and I really hope, Rinske, I so hope that you have enjoyed this creation, and I really hope you enjoy what it represents for you. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you all again soon. Happy New Year!